Hi everyone, Sanal here. Welcome to OmegaCodex. We are back to the world of Azure DevOps today. But before I start, I want to tell you that I'm absolutely thrilled today. We have hit 500 subscribers and I couldn't have done it without each and every one of you. Seriously, thank you from bottom of my heart. You all have shown incredible support and encouragement, and I want you to know how much that means to me. So to all my subscribers, whether you joined me from the very beginning or recently hopped on the board, thank you for being part of this journey. Your likes, comments, shares, and the most importantly, your presence means everything. I can't wait to create more content and deliver the best I can. So once again, thank you for helping this channel reach 500 subscribers. If you are new here, click on that subscribe button and join the journey. In this video, we will talk about templates in YAML pipelines. Templates lets you define reusable parts in YAML pipelines. You will need a basic understanding of Azure pipelines, key concepts such as stages, steps, and tasks to work with templates. You can check out this video where we discuss these concepts and created a multi-stage pipeline in YAML. You can follow the link in the description below to watch that video. We'll reuse the same YAML pipeline we created in that video and extend it to use templates. So let's get started. Welcome back. Today we are going to talk about YAML templates and how they can help streamline the development process while creating pipelines. Templates can help you speed up development. Imagine having a series of repetitive tasks that you need to include in your YAML pipeline. With templates, you can define these tasks once and then include the template multiple times in different stages. It's like a blueprint for your pipeline, making your development process more efficient. They can also enhance your pipeline security. When a template controls what's allowed in the pipeline, it defines the rules and logic that another file must follow. For example, you want to restrict what tasks are allowed to run to comply with your organization's security policies. There are two types of templates: includes and extends. Include templates allow you to insert reusable content into your YAML configuration. It's like an include directive in many programming languages where content from one file is inserted into another file. On the other hand, extends template control what's allowed in a pipeline. They define the logic that other file must follow, ensuring the security and consistency of your pipeline. Now in this video, we will just look into include templates, which will let us reuse the same YAML content across multiple pipelines. So let's jump into Azure DevOps and get our hands dirty. This is the same project which we had used in the multi-stage YAML pipeline video. And let's go to the repositories. This was the YAML pipeline which we created, which had multiple stages. So what I've done for now is create a copy of that same file with templates. We'll be using this YAML file to see the capability of templates. So with templates, you can break down your YAML into multiple pieces, which we can reuse in the main YAML file. So if we look at our existing YAML file, we can see there is a variable section, then we have stages, then under stages, we have jobs, steps. Similarly, we have stages for deployment to dev and deployment to QA. Now you can reuse any part of it. So to start with, let's say we want to remove these steps into a YAML file and then include it in the main pipeline to a template. If there are any other builds to be done, we can run it similarly. So to start with, let's create a new file. You can use any editor like VS Code also to do it. I'm just doing it here to avoid switching between editors. So let's just call it steps.yml and let's just open this in a new tab, and I'll just copy this and paste it here. Let's just correct the indentation and commit it. Now let's come to pipelines and create a new pipeline. To start with, I'll create a new pipeline, select get, select a project, and select existing YAML file. So the file we want to use is our templates, Azure pipelines with templates, because that's our main pipeline file. Now here we have these steps task, but which we have already copied into a template file. So we can remove all the tasks under it and just call -template, and as we type, it should have shown the template name, but let's steps.yml, and that should be fine. So let's just save this, commit to branch, and edit it again. So now if we click validate, it says something is wrong with our template. Let's just see. Okay, there could be an indentation issue here. Okay, so that was an indentation issue, and now we have updated it. Let's come back to pipelines. So once I have updated that pipeline, you can see it started running, but still we are running the templates. So now it shows you the templates as well. Let's just rename this pipeline to .NET Web App with, so that it's easily identifiable. And now if you see, this is running with a template, and we hardly can make a difference that it is running through a template. So this way we have moved the steps whatever were there for building the project into a template, and then we are including that template in the main pipeline file. Let's come back to a project, add a new file called template build stage.yml, and we'll copy this whole thing right here. Just fix the indentation, but we cannot put stages like this. We have to put stages, and under that we have to put this. We can commit this file, and we'll come back to our stages, back to our pipeline file, and let's remove this and call a template. It's still build stage. There's a typo, line number 3 did not find expected indicator. Okay, again an indentation issue. Now the validation is okay, and let's commit, and it should trigger the pipeline, and let's see how it works. So if you observe here, the steps YAML file which we created, it was using some variables which we were using in our YAML file when we had a single large file, but since we are including it in this file, it is able to use these variable references even in the templates, and those variable values are getting applied. The build has started, and you can see that it is still running without any issues and able to build the solution. So let's let it build for a while and move ahead. So now coming from full length YAML file, we have removed some of the steps and reduced the size of it a bit. If we come to the next stages, we can see we have two deployment stages. One is for dev and one is for QA, and the steps are pretty much same, only there are some slight differences. Like obviously we have a different name for it, and it depends on build stage. This one depends on deployment to dev, and then we use different variable groups, and then the parameters for our Azure web app are different because we have different app names which are being used. But otherwise I think pretty much rest of the things are same. So to start with, let's move this to a different template. Let's create a new file and call it template deploy YAML. Call it deploy stage, create it, and just copy the stage. Like we did for stage, it has to start with stages. So when we are moving even the stages to another file and the template file, we have to mention the stages keyword to mention our stages. So it might look like, the stages are being repeated on different template files, but when we are defining them in a template file, we have to mention the category under which we are putting them at this point. And let's put it this way. Just verify the indentations. This looks fine. Now this stage which we copied is specifically for dev, but we have to kind of generalize it so that we can reuse it for QA as well. So for that we have to use parameters, and for parameters we have to define the name of the parameter and default value which it would need, and in some cases we can also define the type if it has a specific type. So if otherwise the default is string, so if it's just string, then we can also skip the type. So let's put stage name as the first parameter, and to use this parameter we have to use the notation of dollar double braces and parameters dot stage name. So let's commit at this point and then try to use it to replace our dev stage. Let's come back to our pipeline. So let's remove this and call a template. We want deploy stage. Okay, what did we do wrong now? We missed space here. Just commit it. And we have defined a parameter in our template. So let's have stage name, which is called deploy to dev. And let's see if I enable it. So let's save. We call it move dev stage to template. We have been working with the default comments for quite some time, and let's see what happens. So pipeline has built and it's waiting for deployment. Let's just permit it to use variable groups and the environment. I've talked about this in the multi-stage YAML video, so you can check out that video to understand about it. And let's just wait and see if deployment to dev succeeds. And now we can see it is deployed to dev. And if we come to web app, check this out, and it is up and running. Now let's check this template. So we can add more parameters now and replace the values here so that we can reuse it for our QA stage as well. So I'll just put some variable names which we want to use. So stage name we have used, and for depends on we will use depends on stage, and here we will use job name, we'll use variable group, here we'll use environment, and here we'll use app name. I think that's pretty much. Stage is parameterized, depends on is parameterized. Display name we want to change it so that it displays the proper name during the run. Full name we can keep it same, we don't want to change it, and just correct the spelling here. Environment, because we want to use the correct environment here. Again, you can understand about the environments in the multi-stage YAML video, so quite a lot of things are there. Web app build, I think for now let's keep it the same, though it's the name which is used in a different template file, but for now let's keep it the same. App name, let's keep it to a default value of this, so that if it's not passed, it doesn't fail, it just deploys to dev by default, so nothing goes wrong. Yeah, I think that's pretty much. And save this. So updated template file, save this and specify value for parameters. Here, copy these values here. Environment, we want to have dev here. Variable group, bring it from here in our old file. Here depends on stage, we'll call this build, and app name, let's see, and our validation has passed. So now that our validation is passed, I think we can safely copy this and define our template for QA as well. So let's copy this to here, deploy to QAE, call that. Environment will be QAE, our group will be QA, it depends on stage dev, and our app name is QA. So with that, we can remove the stage, and now we have a very short YAML file which is just using templates, and we are using the feature of reusability here. With templates, using the same template, we are deploying it to different stages. For once, I'll just click validate, and validation is okay. So let's just save it. Updated stages to use templates with arrows, and let's commit. Come back to pipeline, and it is now running. So let's see if it works. Build has started and seems to be going fine. Let's wait for other stages also to complete. So now it has built and deployed to dev as well, and it's waiting for QAE permission. Made changes to that. Dev we have approved just a while ago. In the previous video, when we were setting up this pipeline, we had also added an approval check for QAE. So I need to explicitly approve the deployment, and once it is approved, so the earlier approvals which I did was kind of giving permissions to use the resources, use the deployment stage, and as well as using the environment. But this is more of a quality check or a quality gate, which we usually have in release pipelines, that there should be some approval workflow through which the deployment happens. So if you see, it was able to also pick up the relevant configuration. So it has successfully picked up the proper variable groups and fetched the proper variable values for our application settings, and it is being deployed. And if you copy the link for QA, put it should be up and running. So that's pretty much with templates. So we have reduced a YAML file which was of almost 114 lines into just 31 lines and moving all the tasks to templates, and we were able to reuse the template in 2 stages by passing in appropriate parameter values. Even for the build stage, we can parameterize it. If we come to steps, there are variables being used which we can parameterize, or even if there is any hard coding anywhere, we can parameterize it. Like for example, here the web app build which was being used, we could always add a parameter for this, and we can pass the parameters in the main YAML file. So this is just the basics of how to break your YAML file into templates and then using those templates in your pipeline. It's not required that the templates be present in the same repository. You could also have a different repository for maintaining templates if you have many pipelines and you want to reuse the steps. So you can have a different repository where you have those templates, and those templates can be reused in each of the projects. Probably that would be a topic for another video. With that said, let's wrap up this video. Let me know your comments and feedbacks in the comment section below, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Follow the links here to watch something interesting next. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, adios.